And it's finally here. Hello everybody, it's 909 Career here. Welcome to the Flood Escape 2 guide. And at the beginning I showed a bit of my animation skills. It's okay, I'll get better soon. But I should tell you, how's this guide going to work? Right, there are 7 episodes to look out for. And this is episode 1. In this guide, it will be a little bit more different compared to my previous guides. Instead of me over-commentating over the footage while it's playing, I'm planning on stopping the footage, say my piece on what to do and or what's happening, but as well, if you do not want to deal with my voice, look up here. Up there is a playlist where it just shows you the levels, no animation, it just shows you the levels and me playing through them without me interrupting the footage. But that's only up in that playlist and or video up there. So how am I going to play the levels? Well, I always have rules when I do these guides, and there are 5 of them I've sworn to. So here they are. Rule number 1, solo only. So yes, I will be alone while doing these. But mostly when you play these levels, you have multiple people helping you through these buttons and challenges up ahead. But it is not impossible to do all of the level by yourself. So that's why I'm doing it solo. It's not like I just don't have any real friends or something. Rule number 2, no glitches. Stuff like clipping through walls or taking advantage of Roblox's terrible engine will not be allowed. But as well, I cannot even do them, so no thank you. Rule number 3, no overpowered shortcuts. What do I mean by this? Some levels have these shortcuts that basically skip entire areas and or buttons you can easily just skip through, even though you need buttons to, beat the level. Even though about these overpowered shortcuts, I still don't know how to perform them, at least not properly at least. Rule number 4, no tricks. Something like wall hopping or back jumping, stuff like that. The only one I'm making an exception at is ladder jumping, as ladder jumping is essential to beat the levels. And as well, I'll show you how to do it at the first level. And finally, rule number 5, I'll be playing on PC. Playing on mobile is for masochists and children. I don't hate myself, neither I do not like to inflict pain on myself. Neither I'm not a child. So I like to play it on PC because I don't hate myself. And there you go, those are the rules. And now onto the levels. Now I don't want to say them individually, so here you go on the screen. You can see all the levels I'm tackling this episode. And as well, I'm going to show you the controls and how the mechanics work in Flood Escape 2. But before that, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. As well, join the Discord server link in the description. And let's get on to that test course, shall we? You should probably know these controls already. WS and D to move and space to jump. I will give you one recommendation, do not use the arrow keys. You can thank me later. And now onto these. If you see arrows pointing up and scrolling up, that means you can wall jump off this wall. But you gotta be quick, you only got 1 second to jump off it or you will fall. Another thing to tell you about wall jumps is do not try and go through the side, because you will not be able to stick onto it and then wall jump. Next, sliding. If you see something that's a little bit too short for you to walk into, you can press E or any button that you set the slide button to go under it, so you can be able to continue going on with the level. As well, if you're not happy with the controls, you can change them through options, then keybinds. Next thing on this test course are zip lines. These green orbs here, if you touch them, you will ride on this zip line and you'll get to A to B. And as well, there are no special controls to make you go faster and or somehow fall off. Here's something that I'm used to, buttons. In this game, there are two types of buttons, normal buttons and group buttons. Normal buttons will be highlighted as green, and all you need to do is have one player, or you, touch it, and you can be able to continue with the level. But with the group button, depending on how many people you have in the server, a certain amount of people need to press it before everyone can advance. Next, gimmicks, is swimming. Right here is water. You can be able to swim around, you can use the same controls as WS and D, and hold space to float up. As well, you can swim down. The default keybind will be left control, but I would recommend you switch it to the same button as you set for sliding, to avoid any confusion and not worrying you have to press another button. And whilst you're in water or any liquid, your oxygen will go down, and if the oxygen goes to 0, you are dead. As well, talking about water, there are 3 types of liquid. There is water, which we kind of discussed, acid, and then lava. Water, while you're in it, will slowly drain your oxygen in a kind of a normal pace. Acid, the oxygen will go down a lot quicker compared to water, and is maybe the main reason why you might die a couple times. And then finally lava. Touch it and you're dead. Next thing to talk about is holding space on climbables. If you remember back in the rules, in the no tricks section I said something about holding down space while on a climbable ladder or trust will be allowed. The main reason is this is essential for some of the levels inside Floodescape 2. So while you're climbing, hold spacebar and you're able to climb it up a lot faster. And then finally we have the air tank. They are kind of rare in this game, but if you touch it, you get extra oxygen. As well, sometimes grabbing it is essential for certain levels, as water will turn into acid in the middle of swimming in said levels. And that's mostly all the mechanics I need to tell you. And now let's get on to Castle Tides. Alright, Castle Tides. Debatably one of the most hardest levels in existence. Even the hint of my own loading screen says it. Joking aside, this is definitely one of the easiest levels in the game. It is on the easy difficulty after all. So, there are 8 buttons in total, 7 of them are standard buttons, and the other one's a group button. In this first section here, you got 3 standard buttons to press before you can continue on. And you got somewhere around 30 seconds to do so, or you drown in acid. Or water, depending on how lucky you are. So the first button will be on these boxes. After pressing that, turn around and a ladder will poof into existence and you can climb on it. But before we climb on it, I got a little trick to show you. This is called the ladder jump and it's pretty easy to do. All you need to do is go on a ladder or a trust and hold the jump button, aka space, and into the direction of the ladder. Compared to just climbing it up normally, you'll mostly run out of time and drown. So you better learn this maneuver because it is essential to beating mostly every level in the game. Again, all you need to do is hold space and keep colliding with the ladder and you'll be up in milliseconds. After all that, at the top, on a box, there is the second button. The third button is on top of another box, And as well, you can practice your ladder jumping as well. After pressing the third button, the gate is now open and you can go through it. Now we're through it, and now into the second section. On your left is another ladder, so ladder jump all the way up there, and then do a couple of jumps to get to the fourth button. As well, on your right, the gate is getting filled by water. So do not dilly-dally and get straight to the button pressing. After pressing the fourth button, another ladder has poof into existence, and all you need to do is climb this ladder and the fifth button is yours. After that, turn right and these boxes will appear, so you can press the sixth button. And now, after pressing the sixth button, the gate is open. As well, if you look behind you, the water has flooded through, and you only had another 30 seconds to beat that section. But now onto the final section, which you got another 30 seconds to beat. So your next button will be on your left, and all you need to do is jump twice on these platforms, and the seventh button is yours. Then turn around and go back to the pathway. I decided to take a little dip, so yeah. Now we can cross thanks to this wooden plank, and the final button, which is a group button, will be on the other side to your right. As well, just in case you fall off, there is a ladder there to get yourself back up. After pressing the last button, go back and go on the wooden plank that spawned, and that's how you beat Castle Tides. Ah yes, Infiltration. A normal difficulty map with 7 buttons in total. Only 2 of them are group buttons and the rest are standard buttons. In the first room, there is a manhole cover to continue on with the level, but first you gotta press the first 3 buttons. The first button will be right next to the manhole cover. After pressing the first button, the rocks will clear over this cliff, and you can go on these boxes to get to the second button. After pressing the second button, the third button is now available, and you can climb up this truss with ladder jumping and get through easy wooden platforms, and then the manhole cover will open. Dive straight into the water, and now you're in the sewers. Up ahead is a vertical room that you need to climb up quickly so you don't drown. As well, you have to do all of that, the start to here, in about 40 seconds. By the way, you smell, so have a shower after this level. Now you're into the main area. All you need to do is go straight forward to press the fourth button. Turn around, then turn right. Jump over this chain link fence from the box, and go on this box to get the fifth button. And I could turn around, but it's now blocked. So you have to go around back to where the 4th button is and do the same thing again. But this time, when you're on the box, go over this chain link fence. And you can see the water is catching up. You have somewhere around 20 seconds to do those 2 buttons and escaping to the next room. Luckily though, when the room floods, the door doesn't close immediately, but when it turns to acid, then the door will close. Now onto the last room. Now you gotta swim through acid. Now acid is not super dangerous, but if you stay there for too long, you will die very quickly. But compared to some levels, this is actually very forgiving. So the first thing you want to do is to go where the 3 boxes are. Next, you go to this box on your left and follow the platform that's above it. As well, quickly jump on the boxes to get to the 6th button. Now after pressing that, a platform has appeared. Take a dip in the acid, go on those 3 boxes again, and just go straight for the 7th button. After pressing the last button, go straight for the trust behind you and to your right, jump on the box that's on the platform, follow the railing all the way to the end of the room, take a quick jump, and that's how you beat Infiltration. Map level 3, Axiom. One of the most easiest maps in the game, so if you die here, just make sure that you're terrible at the game. So in this level, there are 5 buttons in total, 4 of them are standard buttons, and the extra one is a group button. And that group button is right in front of you, so press that. After pressing that, if you turn around, you'll find out there's a ladder. Ladder jump your way up there. After climbing it, if you look to your left, there is the 2nd button. After pressing the 2nd button, you can now escape this room. Well, there's a 3rd button right there. Like, how can you miss it? And even after pressing the 3rd button, platforms appear. And at the end is the 4th button. And if you fall off, you might die. After pressing the 4th button, you could climb the stairs, but you could just jump twice and just get all the way up there in like about 2 seconds. And up those staircase on your left will be the final button. After pressing the final button, you can go on these platforms and up to the ladder. These platforms should not be difficult at all, and plus you don't really need to worry about the flood because again it's so slow and this level is so easy, this shouldn't be a problem. After climbing that ladder, you got this final room here which doesn't really have anything of note in here. It's just, that's it. If you got here, and if you die, if you somehow actually die here, I'll be so surprised. As well, I've beaten this level in under a minute. But again, that's how you beat Axiom. Alright, Lost Woods. another easy level with 3 buttons in total, and only 2 of them are normal buttons. And in this first room, at your right, is the first button. But be quick, the water goes up very quickly in this room. After the Zelda-inspired sound indicates that the next room is available for you to come in. As well, follow the signs with the arrows, because they are really helpful for showing you the way to continue. Now you're going to go on some logs, and do some platforming as well, on those said logs. Two arrow signs. The one you want to go is left, so it can show you the button, but if you go to the right, you'll find out that it's closed and you need that second button to open the door. After pressing the second button, these tree leaves are collidable, so you can use them to your advantage by getting to the next room. And I will say, the flood is very relentless this time. Good it's just water, not acid or anything. And here is the last button that I pressed. It is a group button, but for playing solo you don't really need to worry, because it's just a normal button in the end. As well, it does play the Zelda-inspired sound again, which opens the exit to the level. And that's how you beat Lost Woods. Oriental Grove, a normal level with 8 buttons in total, and 7 of them are the normal buttons. You can probably figure out the rest. But at the beginning, turn right, and the first 2 buttons are right there. And the first button has a massive giant arrow next to it, so how can you miss it? After pressing the first button, these 2 platforms will appear, so you can be able to press the second button. Right after pressing that, you don't need to be here anymore, so climb back up by these rocks and go to the other side. As well, you had 15 seconds to press both of those buttons. The flood doesn't mess around anymore, does it? Right, on this side, you've got 3 buttons to press, and you've got until 30 seconds on the clock before this section get flooded as well. And as well, I'm not going to go as in detail as much anymore, because you should know how this stuff works now. After pressing the 5th button in this level, a ladder will appear, which if you were inside it, you will die. Even I experienced it at one point, but you can be able to climb it to get to the next area. We are now on a bridge, and half of it is complete, so we need to go through this cliff here, that is on our right, and where the 6th button is located. After pressing that, the bridge is complete, and then you can be able to cross the bridge all the way and even follow the path for a bit. The 7th button will be on these boxes, and it's, you know, not hard to miss. And you'll be able to cross the cliff that's ahead. And don't fall, because it's acid, and acid kinda burns a bit. And, yet again, the group button is the last button. And after pressing that, the rocks will clear, and it's basically GG. And that's how you beat Oriental Grove. And our final level for today is Forsaken Era. That is on the easy difficulty and has only 6 normal buttons. Immediately you are trapped in a room that's filling very quickly with water, and all you need to do is go on these platforms, and at the top will be the first button. After pressing that, escape, and the second room is available. As you can see, I fell in the water, but do not worry, it's not dangerous, and there is a ladder that you could escape the water from to get back to land. As well, I'm at a closed door again, and all I need to do is go to my left, press the second button, go back, and I can go to the next area. The third button will be an event, so it will be simple to press and get out of it quickly. I stand corrected. It's just closed on me, and I just need to take a little detour to get back to where I was. And as well, escaping the vent, the water is catching up very quickly, so we need to be just as quick as well. The next room has a bridge in it, and all you need to do is just press the button where the platform it is on, and then the next room is available. After me just scanning the area, I fell down in the water again. Again, this is an easy map. I should definitely do better than this. But back up again. In this room there is some broken stairs, so you need to climb up, turn around, follow the path, and then press the button to continue on. Ah, finally, fresh air. But there is one more button left, which is on our right, that we need to press to get out of here before the flood, kills us. After pressing that, as long as you don't fall or take so long to do this last platforming section, you got this level in the bag. And that's how you beat Forsaken Era. Wow, I never expected this video to be a half an hour long, but here it is, the end of the video. As well, I'll quickly explain a couple things, like why did it take so long to make this video. First of all, this guide had many reworks, as in how I'm going to tackle it. At first, I was planning on having the characters in that animation, Kriya, Pen and Nick, talking between the levels, but I did see it at first. I only done the first level. But when I saw it back, I felt like, nah, I don't want to do this. So I decided to just do the guide straight up. As well, animating, as it was kind of the first time I used Moon Animator, I kind of took a bit while doing that as well. And annoyingly, college is back to haunt me again. But I only have some around 5 weeks until I'm free for the start of July all the way to September. So some around 2 months of me with free time. But as well, I do enjoy college because I'm finally on my final project for my course. And it's on Roblox animation. So isn't that funny? Or I mostly chose to do a Roblox animation. I might actually post it on my YouTube channel while I'm at it. But as well, that all depends on how I feel about it. So yeah, I finally got Flood Escape 2 Episode 1 guide done. I wasn't expecting this video to be as long as it should, but that's the thing I'm willing to do. Show you how to beat the level and in a kind of a slow understanding manner. Again, it's not for everyone, but I prefer to take my time with the commentary. That's why I stopped the footage to explain, because in previous guides I was worrying on how much I spoke. Like, all the words I'm talking about will be irrelevant now. It's very noticeable in my piggy guide, so if you would like to look back at it, go ahead. So yeah, that's why this guide took a while, and just a heads up, I've already done all the levels, even the crazy levels, so you don't need to worry about me taking forever to do a certain level, for example, because I've done all of them. But this video has gone on long enough, and I should just do the outro bit now, or this is technically the outro, but let me just say, if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment and subscribe. As well, join the Discord server in the description. See you in episode 2, and bye. Have a great time.